Hi Kingdom Kids, Miss Andrea here, coming to you from my office. Today's story is called Too Many Frogs by Sandy Asher. I chose this book because it's about a rabbit, and rabbit starts with what letter? Right, R. So I thought that would be fitting since our letter for the week was R. So let's begin. Too many frogs. Rabbit lived by himself in the hollow of an old tree. He cooked for himself, he tidied up after himself, and at the end of each and every day, he read himself a story. It was a simple way of life, no fuss, no clutter, and Rabbit liked it. But one rainy evening, he heard a knockity-knocking at his door. "It's Froggy," croaked a deep voice. "Don't care for the storm." Rabbit opened the door. "I was about to read myself a story." "Love to listen," Froggy cried, and hopped right inside. "Don't mind, do you?" "I suppose not," Rabbit said. So Froggy listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered. Then, when Rabbit had finished, "Storm's ended too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, as usual, Rabbit finished his dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself a story. But before he could begin, he heard another knockity knocking at his door. "It's Froggy," croaked the same deep voice. Rabbit opened the door. I was about to read myself a story." "I know," Froggy cried and hopped right inside. "Love to listen, but first, let's fix ourselves a snack, or 3. Don't mind, do ya?" I suppose not." So Froggy hopped and popped and whipped and flipped and mixed and fixed a snack, or 3. Too much fuss, Rabbit thought. But Froggy listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered when Rabbit had finished. "Snack's gone too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, Rabbit finished his dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself another story. But before he could begin, there was that same knockity knocking at his door. "It's Froggy," croaked that familiar voice. Rabbit opened the door. "I was about to read," he began. "I know," cried Froggy and hopped right inside. "About to read yourself a story. Love to listen, but first, let's get ourselves all comfy cozy. Don't mind, do you?" I suppose not," said Rabbit. So Froggy fluffed and puffed and mushed and smushed and piled up billows of pillows. Too much clutter, Rabbit thought, but Froggy listened while Rabbit read his story. "Well done," he cheered when Rabbit had finished. "Bedtime too. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo." The next evening, Rabbit finished dinner, tidied up, and sat down to read himself a story. But before he could begin, there was that knockity knocking again. "It's Froggy." Rabbit opened the door. "I know," Froggy cried before Rabbit could even say a single word. "You were about to read yourself a story. Love to listen, but first, meet the family. Been telling them all about you and your stories. Love to join us. Don't mind, do ya? Rabbit looked at Froggy's family. Big frogs, little frogs, dozens and dozens, all wearing t-shirts that said, Frog Family Reunion. Too many frogs, he thought. Too much fuss. Too much clutter. But I do mind, Froggy, he said at last. You do? Froggy asked. I never invited you in, explained Rabbit. I never invited you to fix a snack. I never invited you at all to get comfy cozy. And I never invited your family to join you. So I do mind. Very much indeed. Uh-oh, croaked Froggy. This will never do. Thanks for your kindness. Toodaloo. Alone at last, Rabbit sat down to read himself a story. For one anxious moment, he waited for a knockety-knocking at his door. It never came. Don't mind, do ya? He asked himself with a chuckle. Most certainly not, he answered himself, and began to read. It was a good story. But something was missing. Snacks make a story good. A good story even better, he thought. So he fixed himself a snack and read on. It was a very good story, but something else was missing. Pillows make a good story even better, he thought. So he fluffed himself a pillow and read on. It was an exceptionally good story, but something was still missing. Rabbit blinked once. He blinked twice. And then he sighed. It's Froggy, he told himself at last. He loves to listen. Rabbit opened his door. There sat Froggy and his family, waiting patiently to say they were sorry. Never meant to be rude, Froggy said. Brought you a t-shirt. Frog Family Reunion. Thank you, Rabbit said. I was about to read a story. Would you like to join me? Love to listen, cried the frogs. And they all hopped. Big frogs and little frogs, dozens and dozens. Rabbit offered them a snack, or three, and helped them fluff their pillows. Then every frog listened while Rabbit read a story. Well done, they cheered when he was finished. So many frogs, Rabbit thought. So much fuss, so much clutter. It was a different way of life, and Rabbit liked it. The end. I hope you enjoyed that story. I really like it. I hope you guys did too. Well, you guys have a fabulous weekend. I will see you next Tuesday for our next story time. Have a good weekend, friends. I love you. Bye.